The journey to Dubai had been one of mixed emotions for Felina. Her parents had insisted, urging her to embrace her supposed good fortune, while Ronnie had accompanied her with her usual enthusiasm, determined to make the most of the experience. Dubai was everything they imagined: glittering malls, luxurious boutiques, and endless options for the lavish wedding Sinak had planned. Yet, despite the glamour, Felina's heart remained heavy. Her doubts about her future with Sinak lingered like an unwelcome shadow, but she pushed them aside, hoping against hope that things would somehow work out. On their return to Nigeria, their plane landed in Lagos late in the evening. Exhausted but relieved to be back home, they boarded a hired vehicle to Warri, eager to reunite with their families. The journey was uneventful until the early hours of the morning, when a reckless truck driver swerved onto their lane, colliding with their car. The crash was brutal. Metal crunched against metal, and glass shattered, sending shards flying. Felina and Ronnie were thrown forward, their seatbelts the only thing keeping them from being flung out of the car. When the chaos settled, bystanders rushed to their aid. Both women were alive, miraculously so, but they were bruised, bleeding, and unconscious. They were rushed to the nearest hospital, where doctors worked tirelessly to stabilize them. Felina regained consciousness hours later, her face bandaged and her body aching. Ronnie, who had escaped with fewer injuries, was already sitting up in her hospital bed, her relief evident. "Felina," Ronnie whispered, tears streaming down her face. "We're alive. Thank God we're alive." Felina nodded weakly, her fingers brushing the bandages on her cheek. She didn't know then that the accident had left a scar that would change her life forever. Days later, the bandages were removed, revealing a thin but fairly long scar that ran diagonally across Felina's cheek. The doctors assured her it could be fixed with plastic surgery, but the sight of her face in the mirror left her speechless. Ronnie recovered fully and was discharged soon after, but Felina needed more time to heal. When she was finally well enough to go home, her parents were supportive, showering her with love and encouragement. But the real test came when Sinak arrived to see her. He stepped into her room, his face a mixture of shock and disgust when his eyes landed on the scar. Felina tried to greet him, but his expression froze her words in her throat. What happened to your face?" Sinak stammered, his voice laced with disbelief. "The accident," Felina began, her voice trembling. "It left a scar, but the doctors said it's not permanent. They can fix it with surgery." Sinak's gaze lingered on her cheek, his lips curling in disdain. "Surgery or not, this is not what I signed up for," he muttered, stepping back as though repelled. "Sinak, it's just a scar," Felina pleaded. "I'm still the same person." He scoffed, crossing his arms. "The same person?